Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tamiko, and I am so excited to be going live again at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time today for World Read Aloud Day. This is our fourth year doing our stories that we wrote over the pandemic during this particular day. And I am so excited that you have chosen to be in this room and in this space for such a time as this. What I did in order to figure out which of the nine stories I was going to read or any of the guided journals that I was going to read for this 12 p.m. experience was poll our Instagram followers at Let Go Be Great. And what I found out from all the things that they shared is that they said that there were top two I looked at where they said that, yes, these are the stories we would love for you to go live in. And so earlier at 9:15 a.m. today, we read our Joyce, There's Power in Your Voice short story, which was about Joyce, the main character, choosing to move from silence to actually speaking up. I don't know if that has happened in anybody's space. But if it has, or if this is something that you have gone through or experienced, this is the perfect book to look at how Joyce actually let go of something, which is let go of what it was that she could utilize with her voice when there were other people who were telling her to be silent. And she got an opportunity to be great in that. And we show you through this book how this works through the process, right? So that was 9:15. Check it out. If you have not got an opportunity to do that, check out the 9:15 a.m. World Read Aloud Day video. And today, for this 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, next 30 minutes, I want to share with you two particular things that came up in our Instagram followers thing today for another live component, which is our journey through Black history, starting with your own guided journal. So I'm definitely going to read out probably one quote from here. So if there's somebody in the live space, if you can give me a day of the week as a number, so like day 1 to day 28, I want to read out whatever that quote is that you put down from this excerpt so that I can see that and read that out loud here. So whoever came in, whoever wants to come in, or whoever will come in, know that I will come back to this YouTube live to hear what it is you have to say in terms of which quote and make sure that I put that down from here. So that's one thing. So I'll be looking for that in the chat or in the comments during this time. But the book that we saw on our Instagram, our Let Go Be Great Instagram feed to read today during this hour was our What Colors Suit You July short story. And uh, as let me just go back. All of the stories that are in Let Go Be Great's Be Great product page all have things or moments where people are looking for ways to move to the next level. And all of these ways are ways that maybe people are choosing to let go of something and to move into great in. And each of these stories show different processes that the main character has to take, just like we may have to take in things that we do or things that we come up against. And this story, What Color Suits You July, deals with two of those ways. In my logo, you'll see punctuation marks. And in this book, you also see punctuation marks because July in this story is trying to determine what she should do next. She's in a waiting period because you see that comma that is there that's getting her to take a pause. And she's also in a questioning period in this part of her journey. And so if there are people who are in pause moment or questioning moment, this is the read aloud story experience for you. And I'm going to start with this story, which I know came out of me during the pandemic. It was actually 9 of them that came out, like in 6 or 7 minutes of the time. And within this particular story, you'll see, like you see in all of our stories, the main character's thought process. You'll see what they needed or what they did in order to move to the next level. Because sometimes we want to get to the next level, and there are some steps that we have to take in order to get there. So, as I read this story aloud to each of you, would love to hear what is something that resonates with you with this short story. Is there an experience that this main character, July, experienced that you also experienced? Was there an experience that someone else had experienced that is like this character in this story, and you saw that happen, or you advocated for what it is that was occurring with this particular character? I want you to put those things in the chat too. So with that, I'm going to get started. I was looking in the chat to see if anyone had any day to actually read from our What Color Suits, from our Journey Through Black History book. But what I'll do is I'll just randomly open up to it and read one of those journal quotes and ask you, because this is Black History Month, what are the things that resonate with you in this particular guided journal that I wrote to? And this guided journal is a journey through Black history, starting with your own. And it was created because I needed to see people make bold first moves that I wanted to make who look like me. And I wanted to see at what point in their life they did it, so that I could also make those bold first moves myself. And so this journal is filled with 29 days, 28 days of quotes from who I call Black heroes and Black sheroes. And these Black heroes and Black sheroes in this journal are from African American men and women, boys, girls, teens, and also our leaders across so many industries who share what they did in order to move to their next step. And so I'll choose one of these in here. The goal in this is also for the individuals to also create their own quotes as well. So that's what happens at the end, for them to publicize and start creating their legacy too. So I'm going to just open up randomly to read one of these quotes from here. Woo, look at that. And so the quote that I will read out, and I would love for you to put in the chat like any resonations that you have from this quote. The quote is by Pamela Denise. And Pamela Denise is actually based here in Chicago. She has an entire channel on YouTube and also on Instagram and Facebook that's called, I believe, I Am Pamela Denise. And the quote that she wrote for this journal is in the section where it talks about your next moment in your life for beginning your journey. And her quote is, "You cannot be for someone else what you cannot be for yourself. When we truly take the time to learn ourselves, love ourselves, heal ourselves, and commit to being the very best version of ourselves we can possibly be, then and only then can we be that with someone else." That is a quote from Pamela Denise. I'm definitely going to tag her in this video, that she contributed to this journal. And I'm going to pause for a minute to have you write in the comments anything that resonates with you from this particular quote. And I'll read it one more time just in case, because I know some more people have come in. The quote that Pamela Denise wrote in our Journey Through Black History journal to reflect on is, "You cannot be for someone else what you cannot be for yourself. When we truly take the time to learn ourselves, love ourselves, heal ourselves, and commit to being the best version of ourselves we can possibly be, then and only then can we be that with someone else. So if you get an opportunity to write down whatever comes to mind as you hear that quote, I would love to see it after this live. And I'm sure those who come back to this after this live would love to hear your resonations as well. So we'll start with that from this journal, and we'll move to the second requested story to read now. And that story, again, is called What Color Suits You, July. So as I read this story aloud, would love for you to think about what color are your feelings and what color are July's, and how does she choose to react, respond, or proceed in life from what you see in this story. So I'll get started now. Would love to hear your thoughts again. Have you ever heard the phrase, you better paint your story before someone paints it for you? This phrase was mentioned in passing so many times to July, and she always shrugged it off. She was not a painter, for one, and thought the analog was a little drawn out of context for her, especially because of where she was in her life and career. The space she was in was one she couldn't believe. Each day she went into the office, she thought it was a dream. The people she interacted with made her heart smile. She loved who she connected with and how she did it every day. Each day she gave her career 110% by going over and beyond. Everyone left meetings with her energized, ready to begin the day or next steps with ease. She thought because of all of her successes, she could get a promotion, acknowledgement, recognition, support, a little more money than expected. You fill in the blank, but it never happened. Although she felt so much joy in what she did, there were people around her who secretly wanted to block her shine, her reach, her impact. And she wondered why. She could have painted red, the color of anger, when she realized who was behind it all. Anger, slander, who? Who wanted to slander her name? She could have painted red. She could have painted blue to be in sorrow for what she found out, to spew sorrow everywhere and tell anyone who would listen to her pain, her blueness. She could have painted blue. She could have painted purple to expose the trauma of holding things in when she wanted to tell and set the record straight, instead of smiling the fake smile of ignorance and it's okay when it's really not. She could have painted purple. I'll read one more. She could have painted brown to showcase her shade of skin and the injustice many people who look like her received when in the limelight or getting close to it. Checks in character. You can't do it like this because of how it is perceived. Everyone like you remains here. Be quiet, child. Stay in your lane. She could have painted brown for every ancestor who died on her behalf, for every mountain they crossed over, for not only her generations, but generations to come. She could have painted brown. And I'm going to stop here for the story. I want to pose the same question that I posed earlier today before I even started this story with each of you. The story I know is for grades fifth and um, up until 99 and plus, and wanted to hear from you who have come into this live what resonated. What are the things that July experienced that you've either seen, you've heard, you've experienced? What are those things? And in this story is a reminder that sometimes the things that people who you are in spaces with may be going through a lot of different things, and they're going through them in their minds. There are things that they are thinking of, trying to determine who to talk to about these things that they can trust about the things that they are holding dear. And for July, the things that you heard in this story that she is experiencing, maybe things that maybe students are experiencing, maybe coworkers are experiencing, maybe family members are experiencing. And she's doing all of that by asking the question why. There is an ending in here that sets everything apart in terms of how it is this main character actually responds. Because she could respond in the way that the emotions that she is experiencing is surfacing up. But there is also a way she can respond where she can turn another cheek and actually react in a different way, to give a response that is not only going to support the work that she wants to do, but also uplift others who are watching her or around her, who also want to have their best be shown in these moments. So, with this story, I hope that there is something that you are seeing or you are experiencing that could shed a light on any July that's near you and how to encourage them, how to support them. But in this story, what July did was she turned it all around and started to speak life in spaces that caused her trauma, speak life in spaces that caused her pain, speak life in spaces that caused her anger or resentment, all of these things. And so much, instead of it going against her, actually went in her favor for things to be turned around. So today, for you, whoever it is that comes into this space, if you've ever had a July moment, our hope is that that moment does not define you. That moment gets you to move and build and grow and continue to speak life into any space so that in that speaking life moment, you also grow. And also, those who you are speaking life into or changing the narrative around, they also grow too. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are. If there was something that resonated, especially in the first part of the story for you, and what are the ways that you are expanding your voice to change the narrative of whatever space that you could be in or others could be in around your community, around your workplace, and so on and so forth. This book, what Color Suits You July, can be found on our website, letgo-begreat.com. It can also be found on Amazon. Would love to hear your thoughts, but most importantly, on this World Read Aloud Day. How can we continue to keep this love of reading, to keep this love of experiences that maybe we have experienced or others have experiences, shed light on it and bring it into spaces to start conversations, to change things, just like I know July did, and just like I know you will do as well too. Look forward to hearing your thoughts, and thank you so much for joining me here today And thank you again, Lit World and Judy Campbell Smith and every single person that has had these particular moments and is doing something different around them. I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I look forward to connecting, to hearing what it is that is going to happen as a result of these moments in the space that you are into. Have a great day on purpose. Thank you.